painful.
Brian with DIY friend Tyler Smith.
Off the Bus, sponsored by Todd Wenzel Automotive.
We are weeks away from a new school year, and many families are getting ready to buy school supplies, but some are wondering how they'll afford it all. In many cases, teachers will fill in the gaps, often spending their own money. That's why 13 on Your Side is once again partnering with the Heart of West Michigan United Way to help with the need. On August 6th, we'll stuff a bus with school supplies, and we need your help. We're collecting everything from pencils, crayons, and glue sticks to backpacks, calculators, and notebooks. We'll be out in the 13 on Your Side parking lot. That's at 645 3 Mile Road Northwest from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. gathering your donated items. There's also collection sites in Ottawa and Alkin counties. Visit 13onyourside.com for more details. Please help us stuff the bus and invest in the success in every child in West Michigan.
13 Loves Pets, sponsored by the Emergency Veterinary Care Centers.
It's time to meet today's furry friend. This is Bianca, a 6-month-old mini lab. We're told she loves playing tug of war and fetch. Thanks to Karen Dwayne from Twin Lake for sending this in. If you'd like to see your furry friend on TV, just text the word pets to 616-559-1310. If election results take longer than expected next Tuesday, don't panic. How over 1,600 Michigan clerks are working through mandatory security checks to ensure every vote is counted accurately. That's next at 5:30.
Hey, I'm Emily Scarlett. Coming up tomorrow on 13 on Your Side Mornings, we're getting a look inside the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile and chatting with two of their grill masters about the 90th anniversary of this iconic vehicle. Join us on the free 13 on Your Side app from 5 until 9 tomorrow morning.
First at 5:30, your voice, your vote. We're just 5 days away from Michigan's primary election. Early and absentee voting are underway with thousands of ballots already casted. And today, candidates are crisscrossing the state, hoping to convince undecided voters to support them. In West Michigan, Democratic Senate candidate Haley Stevens made multiple stops along the Lake Shore today. And Republican candidate for governor John James spoke in Hudsonville. Now, on election night, everyone will be watching for the final results to come in. But as 13 on your side, political reporter Josh Roberta says you may need to be patient. Josh is here now to explain why, Josh.
Well, Lauren, that's because I'm told there are a number of steps involved after you leave the booth or turn in your absentee ballot that have to be followed to ensure checks and balances. It gets later and later in the night, and you may be looking for an answer as to how these races went before you go to bed. But that can take a bit of time.
The biggest thing to think about when you're looking at the time it takes for election results to come in is the number of checks and balances that are happening in this process. You know, when you go to cast a ballot in person on election day or early voting, you know, once you have left the precinct and at the end of the night, there are a lot of procedures and practices in place.
Something about Michigan is that its election system is what we call decentralized. That means these elections are carried out by officials across the state at the local level. They're all handling their own areas. That includes over 1,600 local and county clerks who are handling elections at the local levels, including like the one I spoke to this past week.
We have to go through those steps to ensure the accuracy of this process before we ever get to the results reporting. So we're emphasizing both, but obviously in a battle of speed over accuracy, accuracy is going to win.
You'll remember back in 2020, initial results in some cases were delayed for very long times in states that had huge mail-in ballot numbers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Clerks in Michigan can pre-process absentee ballots starting a certain amount of time ahead of Election Day, depending on how big the jurisdiction is.
They're verifying the signature has been verified. They're looking at the ballot numbers and verifying all that information. They're verifying the count of voters, and they are processing them through the voting machine, but they're not tabulating those results until the end of election night at 8 p.m.
But in any case, there is quite a bit to do before those results can get reported.
When voters vote by absentee ballot, there's a number of checks that go into the process that look a little bit different than when a voter is standing in front of an election worker and gets issued a ballot. There's actually more steps involved. They're ensuring that the signature area was verified. They're ensuring that the ballot number that's on the envelope, the absentee ballot envelope, matches the physical ballot in custody. And you know, they're taking the ballots out of that envelope, and there's a process that they do that to guard the voter's privacy and make sure that the same workers who are verifying ballot information on the front with the voter's name actually don't see the completely voted ballot.
So even if the results are taking time and something like mail-in ballots may be taking longer with perhaps different voting trends than in-person numbers that could get reported first, remember that the process takes time, and there's always a possibility that we won't have all the unofficial numbers or projected winners by the end of the night. More than 832,000 Michiganders have already cast a ballot for next week's primary. That's according to data released from the Secretary of State's office. That includes just over 800,000 absentee ballots and around 30,000 early in-person voters.
Now to the forecast of this beautiful day here in West Michigan. Just looking gorgeous out there. This is Walker Live right now. It's picture perfect, you would say. Let's bring in meteorologist Colton Woods. Colton, someone should just take a picture of that and keep it up because it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, especially 5 months from now when we're in the middle of winter. We're sitting at 16 degrees and we want it to be 80 degrees. It is very pleasant outside right now, and that will continue to be the case through this evening, but we do have some changes on the way just in time, unfortunately, for this weekend. Live view right now in Muskegon, also seeing very pleasant conditions, sitting at 82 degrees with lots of sunshine. Even along the lakeshore, visibility is A-OK. We are tracking a few showers and storms just north of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Those likely will fizzle out by the time they get to Lake Michigan. So I think we'll stay dry through the rest of this evening. Temperature-wise, it's warm, especially away from the big lake. Ionia, you did hit 90 degrees today. You're now at 88. 85 here in Grand Rapids, 84 in Allegan, and 83 is the current number in Hart. Our dew points, or the measurement of humidity, is still very comfortable, especially in the heart of West Michigan. Muskegon to Grand Rapids to Holland is all seeing a dew point right now in the 50s, but that dew point will likely start to climb overnight tonight, and especially as we head into our Friday. Temperatures, though, this evening largely staying in the 70s once we get to sunset with increasing cloud cover, but we are tracking some rain showers and an increase of humidity late in the day on Friday, which unfortunately will continue into this weekend. Coming up in about 10 minutes, I'll be tracking that round of rain heading into Friday night and Saturday and let you know if it would impact the Coast Guard parade. Lauren.
Now to our evening rush and a look at the top stories from 5 o'clock. State lawmakers are renewing their push to expand statute of limitations in cases of sexual abuse. This week, Interlochen Center for the Arts released an investigation revealing 70 cases of abuse dating back to the 1950s. Now, under current law, the civil and criminal statute of limitations have expired, but a bipartisan group of lawmakers have introduced legislation to create a one-year revival window. It would allow victims to pursue justice regardless of how long the abuse occurred. The bill needs to pass out of the committee before it can go up for a vote in the State House. Michigan health officials say nearly 200 people now have been hospitalized as a result of cyclosporiasis. There are now 10,300 confirmed cases in the state. Health officials say testing continues to point to lettuce and salad greens as possible sources, but other foods have not been ruled out. Best advice, wash your produce thoroughly and before eating. Celebration Cinema announced today it is extending its showing at the Greek epic Odyssey. Celebration North is the only theater in the state showing the film in IMAX. To meet the demand, screenings start as early as 7:45 in the morning and as late as 2 a.m. in the morning. Odyssey is now scheduled to play until September 16th, and that is your evening rush. This week, Allendale Public Schools announced non-transportation zones. Those are areas that school buses will no longer pick up in. Our Rick Dorsey has more on the community impact. Rick. And she'll have more on that in her package right now.
It's a very challenging position. The hours are not ideal because you work in the morning and then you go home and then you work in the afternoon. And so that's unique for this type of job, you know.
Superintendent Garth Cooper said they have tried many recruiting tactics.
As we keep the posting open, it never ends. We're constantly seeking recruits. We are actually paying people now while they do their training.
One of the factors that contributed to the decision was the ongoing schedule conflict of elementary school dismissal and high school sporting events.
One of our challenges for extracurricular activities is that we have every one of our drivers driving elementary bus runs at the end of the day, and so they don't get done taking kids home till 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Of our high school athletic teams, especially for freshmen and sophomores, they start at 4 o'clock.
Allendale tried to use vans as a solution for the smaller athletic teams. However, safety and state law remains the top priority.
In the state of Michigan, the law is such that you cannot have a van that holds more than 10 passengers without using a CDL licensed driver.
On social media, people have a lot of opinions. One poster said it comes down to pay, saying, quote, they have no employees because they offer a salary far below comparison to other school districts. The solution is clear, but they don't want to implement it. Raise a salary and see how you get drivers. Another Facebook user is critical of the walk zones, saying, quote, the littlest kiddos have the farthest to walk from the surrounding neighborhoods. Not to mention what happens for kids that need to walk home that have working parents if weather ends up turning severe. This isn't a typical walk zone. This makes zero sense.
The new non-transport and walk zones take effect this school year. Reporting in the newsroom, Rick Dorsey, 13 on your side.
The Grand Rapids University Prep Academy is breaking ground on a new expansion project. The expansion, funded through a $7 million capital campaign, will add student learning and wellness programs, establish a technological hub for its students, and build a state-of-the-art gym. The new addition will span 100,000 square feet and will be able to accommodate school events, student-led activities, and regional gatherings. And we're starting to learn more about the new events coming to this year's Art Prize. Earlier this summer, organizers announced plans to expand Art Prize to 22 days and add themed weekends celebrating dance, music, visual arts, and fashion. Today, Art Prize announced the ballet will perform at Rosa Parks Circle on September 12th. The downtown market will host an interactive children's event on September 26th. And that same day, John Ball Zoo will host a halftime party featuring animals, live paintings, and of course, an update on which entries have the most votes. Art Prize starts with Preview Week on September 12th and runs to October 3rd. A Fruitport man went from not getting picked in gym class to representing our country on the world stage. Now he's giving back to kids who grew up just like him at the camp that changed his life. That story next in sports.
Hey. So now that we're taking control, he's getting the message. When a dog is balanced, you're going to enjoy a true friend.
Paws are up and the tails are wagging because we're celebrating the sweetest, cutest, snuggly pups and dogs all month long. Every week is Bark Week all month long.
Maybelline has a different style that people relate to, and she knows how to get the job done. Don't miss Justice with Judge Maybelline. Check your local listings.
Grand Valley State University is home to a sports camp going on right now that athletes say is unlike anything else around here. It's a chance for kids to fall in love with the game they've never tried before. And it's a reminder to us all of how important it is to make everyone feel included.
All right, are we playing a game?
Yes.
Any one of these athletes at Mary Free Bed's Junior Wheelchair Sports Camp
Really fun.
could be
All the coaches are really nice.
a superstar someday. All because they're getting a chance to play.
Guys, I'm wide open over here.
Just ask Taggart Vandermoor how important that chance is.
It's my first year of volunteering. I've gone to it my whole life as a little kid and hoping to help out the little kids the way I was helped out when I went to this camp. Like I played soccer in school and like we would do like the gym class stuff, but people didn't want me on a team because I was physically handicapped. You know, I could not keep up. I was not really a benefit to the team. So my parents, they found this camp and they had me go to it. And for like the first time, I feel like I was really excelling. And it also led me to find the sport that I love with all my heart, sled hockey, that my whole life pretty much revolves around sled hockey right now. I worked for a long time and playing since I was a little kid. Eventually made my way onto like the junior national team for hockey, and I've been working really hard to get to the Paralympics for it. It went from going where no one wanted me to where everyone wanted me on their team.
Somebody else everyone now wants to play with is Ezra Ippel.
Basketball is my sport. I've been playing that for as long as I can remember.
He's in his 10th year as a camper, and he plays for the Mary Free Bed Junior Pacers.
I started getting better at it and started meeting new people that made me love the sport even more, and I thought that was really great.
And it all started right here.
The community is so loving, and it's just, you won't ever feel put down. You'll always be brought up. There's always somebody with an encouraging thing to say, even if you mess up. I think that it's somewhere where you can always feel loved and fit in, no matter what.
Taggart hopes we can all remember just how important it is.
Good job, guys, we won.
To give everybody a chance.
I do think people take inclusion for granted. They just don't think about it. So I would just urge a second thought. If you see someone on their own, why not invite them over to just have a conversation with them here and there?
Wheelchair Sports Camp runs through Friday. I'm Matt Guard, 13 on your side sports.
A live look now from our drone overlooking the Coast Guard Festival in Grand Haven. A gorgeous day, but some rain is in the forecast. What it could mean for the weekend parade and fireworks, that's next.
En mi familia, nos enseñaron que los héroes no siempre llevan capa. A veces llevan uniforme.
Honrando a nuestros capitanes veteranos, como Roberto Portales, que demuestran que el verdadero poder es el legado.
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. Now, I have Skyrizi.
I've got places to go and I'm feeling free. Controlling the Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
And now, I'm back in.
The 13 on Your Side Weather Deck is sponsored by Montel Construction, your home team.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Colton Woods. Another pleasant July day out here on the weather deck, but we do have some changes on the way as we wrap up the work week and head into the weekend, mainly in the way of a chance of rain returning Friday night. 13 weather ball, though, heading into tomorrow afternoon is solid green. No change for senior numbers. Another day climbing well into the 80s and will be dry most of Friday. It's really not until near sunset where that chance of rain will really start to increase. The weather ball is brought to you by a West Shore Home. Your weather impact is mainly in the way of increasing humidity and increasing chances of rain as we head into this weekend. Most widespread coverage of rain likely will be Friday night heading into Saturday morning, which will probably impact the Coast Guard Parade, unfortunately. 85 degrees, though, is the current number here in Grand Rapids. 88 is the warm spot for our friends in Ionia, and slightly cooler along the lakeshore due to that onshore breeze out of the west, keeping them in the lower 80s. Hour by hour shows will stay into the 80s through about sunset tonight, and then dropping down into the 70s through about midnight with increasing cloud cover as lows tonight generally parked into the low to mid 60s across West Michigan. Dew points, though, where the measurement of humidity is still very comfortable as you step outside right now, especially from Muskegon, Grand Rapids to Holland. Dew points are in the low to mid 50s, a little bit more humid as you travel up to the north toward Ludington. Humidity will increase, though, for everybody heading into the afternoon tomorrow, and especially on Saturday. That's when the dew point will likely climb well into the 60s, meaning our chance of rain will also increase. Slight decrease in our humidity levels, though, early next week. Monday and Tuesday will feel very comfortable once again, back down into the 50s. Big picture shows high pressure is still in control of our weather, meaning we'll stay dry over the next 24 hours or so. This storm cluster you're seeing just north of Green Bay, Wisconsin, likely will fizzle out as it gets closer to West Michigan. So enjoy the sunshine we're seeing right now, because clouds will be on the increase as we head into our Friday. Overnight tonight, really, the clouds will start to increase. During the daylight hours on Friday, much of the day should be dry until sunset time along the lakeshore. That chance of rain will start to uptick a little bit. Most widespread coverage, like I said, will be Friday night into Saturday morning, which should slightly impact the Coast Guard Parade. Do be mindful of, if you're heading there, bring at least an umbrella or a rain jacket, as you'll have scattered showers continue across the area. And just in time for fireworks, I think in general we'll start to dry out, maybe just a few spotty showers, but Saturday night into Sunday looks a lot drier for your weekend. Widespread rainfall amounts generally around 1/3 of an inch across West Michigan, so a decent soaking, just not as much rain as we saw on Monday. So Saturday, do plan on some rain showers across the area with embedded thunder. We're not expecting severe weather, though, and then on Sunday we'll dry things out, seeing increasing sunshine heading into Sunday afternoon. Temperatures along the lakeshore tonight, generally in the mid-60s, low to mid-60s, off to the north in Grand Rapids toward Kalamazoo, in the mid-60s with increasing cloud cover. The rest of your 13 on your side, someday forecast shows the best chance of rain will be Friday night into Saturday morning, which should impact the Coast Guard Parade, so do be mindful of that if you're heading there. Otherwise, the first week of August, Lauren, doesn't look too bad. Temperatures will be pretty comfortable, generally in the 80s.
Gonna enjoy the first week. It looks nice outside.
For sure.
Thank you, Colton.
Stuff the Bus, sponsored by Todd Wenzel Automotive.
A new school year is starting in less than a month for most districts, and many families are looking at their classroom supply list, wondering how they're going to afford it all. Teachers often fill in the gap, spending their own money to make sure every child is ready to learn. That's why 13 on Your Side has partnered with Heart of West Michigan United Way to help meet the need. Now, on August 6th, we'll hope to fill a school bus full of supplies, and we need your help. We're collecting everything from pencils and crayons and glue sticks to backpacks, calculators, and notebooks. We'll be in the 13 on Your Side parking lot at 645 3 Mile Road North, 3 Mile Northwest from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. gathering your donated items. There are also collection sites in Ottawa and Allegan counties. Visit 13onyourside.com for details. Please help us stuff the bus. Still to come, how a couple of rulers and some Matchbox cars are helping a wounded kitty walk again. Plus, how about taking a little break from reality? We're heading out to the Coast Guard Festival in Grand Haven coming up at 6.
You can't spell American without I Can. Say I Can at the Ram Make This the Summer sales event. I can tow, power through, depend on it, and back it all up. You can do anything this summer with a great deal at the Ram Make This the Summer sales event, because nothing stops Ram.
86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Here's our local Doppler radar.
Stocks tumbled on Wall Street Wednesday after the Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged. All three major indexes fell sharply. The Dow Jones Industrial plunged more than 1,100 points, making Wednesday its worst day in more than a year.
Certainly the market is reacting in a very strong way.
Aside from the three major indexes, the reaction in the bond market also signaled concerns among investors.
This is what determines rates, not the Fed, not stocks, the bond market.
Wednesday's developments will have a real-world impact right now.
Expect those mortgage rates to tick higher. This is the market saying we're worried about inflation.
Federal Reserve Chairman Kevin Warsh addressed that concern in remarks Wednesday.
Inflation remains elevated relative to the committee's 2% goal. You've heard this before, but we will deliver price stability.
But Warsh may not have given enough details on how he plans to do that.
We didn't hear much from the new Fed chair, who is supposed to settle the markets down and explain what's going on. Without the explanation, this is the reaction you're seeing.
President Trump standing by his recently confirmed Fed chairman.
Kevin's got a board. He's fantastic. I know he'd love to see lower interest rates, but he's got a board, and it's a political board.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Ready, set, summer with the Honda Summer Event from the 2026 Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand.
This is your mealtime forecast, sponsored by Wendy's. I'm meteorologist Walker Snowden. Now, depending on the summer night, sometimes it can be very difficult to find largely dry, sunny, clear conditions. And that is exactly where most of the country is, aside from a couple of spots across the Gulf South. But look at these temps for the Midwest, some of the Mid-South actually as well. Raleigh, North Carolina, mid-80s through dinner time, beautiful sun. So would I say it's worth waiting in the drive-thru? Absolutely. Look at the West Coast as well. Now, temps are a bit hotter in some spots, but you still have largely sunny and dry weather. Let's talk about some of these cities. Motor City, Detroit, their high temps today have been just shy of 90, very warm out there. You know, when I think of summer, I think about the smell of sunscreen in the pool and then a sweet treat on a warm summer night. And you got to think about where we are here until late July. Sooner or later, before you know it, we'll be below freezing again. You're like, man, I wish I had that sweet treat, and I wish it was a warm summer night. So you got to enjoy it while we can. Areas where we're still tracking storms, I talked about some of the Gulf South, but even some of the northern plains up towards North Dakota, Sioux Falls, few storms. That early dinner time window looks to be mainly clear, mainly cloudy, but we track further into the night, closer to sundown, few more storms looming out there. Out towards the West Coast, Spokane, Washington, temperatures also similar to what we just saw in Detroit, Motor City, just shy of 90, but beautiful sunny weather, not just today, but towards the end of the work week and even this weekend. Largely dry, sunny weather.
Get a hot deal on your favorite cool treat this summer with a $1 small classic Frosty. Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
A trip through Dulles International Airport could look very different in the years ahead.
This is very exciting to me as a builder, somebody that builds lots of big, nice projects before I got here. And we're doing some of the best in the world right now.
President Donald Trump and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced plans for a major renovation of the Virginia airport.
You don't want to go and be subjected to this airport, because this airport is it's a terrible place to be.
The project is expected to cost more than $22 billion and take 8 to 10 years to complete. Officials say the work will be paid for by the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority and the airlines. United Airlines says the plan includes better parking, improved check-in areas, modernized concourses, and a new tunnel that would replace the airport's current people mover system. President Trump said he personally reviewed and approved the plans and described the project as a long overdue update for the airport.
It's largely financed, and we need some approvals from Congress probably, but generally speaking, it's been very bipartisan.
En mi familia, nos enseñaron que los héroes no siempre llevan capa. A veces, llevan uniforme.
Honrando a nuestros capitanes veteranos, como Roberto Portales, que demuestran que el verdadero poder es el legado.
Ready, set, summer with the Honda Summer Event. Make every mile count in an Accord or Accord Hybrid with a standard turbocharged engine or available hybrid powertrain.
Can you believe we're already more than halfway through the year? If the first 6 months flew by and your 2026 goals got pushed to the side, you're not alone. Michael Yoshida talks to an expert on how to reset for the second half of the year.
Just like that, we're at the midpoint of 2026.
It's halftime, right? What needs to change?
Author and leadership coach Greg Vanerick says now is the perfect time to do a mid-year review and reset of your personal goals.
A lot of us are exhausted. There's AI and all the changes and a tough job market. So I think it's important to actually take back our life.